Hi, this is Em, and today I want to talk about seeds, and specifically seeds that I have used to grow things for flower pressing or for example, these are pressed flowers, or for dryables in 3D where you hang them upside down to dry naturally, or for eating for herbal teas, things like that. But primarily when I grow things from seed, it's because I want them for a crafting or some sort of purpose. And I started thinking the other day as I'm working on seeds that I'm planting outdoors that, wow, I have seeds going back to 2007. And I need to organize these seeds and get rid of some of them or figure out what to do. So this morning I was sitting there thinking, you know, rather than just throwing them away, because, well, 13-year-old seeds probably aren't very good, is I want to do something with them, maybe crafting, for example, putting them in homemade paper or doing some journal tags or some cards or some embellishments where I actually incorporate seeds in with different um, ideas. That will be a separate video. So if and or when I get something like that done, a project video, I will link it down below. But this one is going to be all about me sharing my seed stash and what I'm going to do about it. And just kind of, I guess you'd say, musing and rambling. And so I'm not going to edit the video. I'm filming it live, although I do it in active and I'll put it on active after I watch it, make sure it's something that I want to post publicly. And so if I'm talking about something you're not interested in, then scrub along the timeline. And if you like to hear me share my thoughts about my experiences and ideas and some quick how do I grow seeds, I guess you would say this is the down and dirty method of growing seeds because my patience factor is not very big. So I don't know where video is going to go, except for we're going to just take a little wandering journey around the whole subject of seeds. So if this is something that it sounds like you're interested in, then let's get started. The first thing is I know that this container has my oldest seeds in it. I've had this container for years and years, and I just kind of had it sitting on a shelf, and I just really didn't pay any attention because each year I'd get more seeds, and it just sat there. And so this year I'm just going to uh, take and start going through things. I also, technicalities of live filming. So let's take a look at what's in this box real quick. Blueberry, well, this has nothing to do with anything. Semi-transparent, oh, this is just a container with some seeds in it. I have no idea what they are. So I think what I'm going to do is a lot of these things I'm just going to put into a big container, and like I say, I'm going to save them for putting into homemade paper or doing some artwork with it, because who knows what those are. This is root hormone. But these, for example, they go back to 2007. So I think the oldest seeds that I have on hand now are that long. And there's nothing I'm going to do with these seeds. They're too old. So I'm not going to on camera. Ornamental grass mix. Yeah, I tried those one time. It was really cool. There was some brisa grass came out of it, and some rabbit's ear type grass. It was really neat. I think I did try these grasses a couple of years ago, but I didn't get anything to germinate. So I'm just going to go and, for example, I have a lot of lettuce seeds. I'll put all the lettuce seeds in one container, all my acroleonium seeds in another. So I'll still have them sorted by the type in case I need to refer to them or want to use them in a specific craft. For example, maybe I'll want to do a tag with a orange cosmos and marry it with the seed and do like a little botanical specimen with the leaf and the seed and that type of thing. So in that case, I'm going to want to know what seed goes to what just for those type of reference purposes. So anyway, that's enough about this box. I'm not going to go through everything. I used to order a lot of things from Nichols Gardens. They're still around. They're in Albany, Oregon. So if you just do a search for Nichols, and what I liked about Nichols is they had a lot of different kinds of seeds that I wasn't able to just find anywhere. Although it's been a couple of years since I've ordered from them, but they are still there. So I had a lot of parsley and lettuce seeds, spinach, things that grow in this area. Peas, parsley, cilantro, basil, larkspur. So those are the kinds of seeds that were in here. Now, what is this? This is, oh, this looks like it's one of those where the seeds are embedded. It's a seed tape that I've never used. So I actually think I might, I just tilled an area of the garden the other day, so I think I'll just go put this in a little corner and see if they sprout, just out of curiosity. I can afford to give them a couple of weeks, and we have a rainy spell coming up right now. It's pouring rain outside. Now this is lettuce seed. I've never even opened it. I'd be particularly interested in planting this one because I'm really having a panic about wanting to get some lettuce growing in the garden. So that's cool. So I think I'll try that before I throw them away. And then, as I showed you, over the years, I've kept all of these different seeds. Here's my husband's big stash. He ordered these last year from Park Seeds, and that was his big foray into seeds. We have a shelf upstairs that's one of those large plastic that you put in shops and that kind of things. Got pretty good sized shelves, 4-tier, and got grow lights, and so there's a couple of shelves that have grow lights on it, and that's where we put the seeds for germinating. So he got into that last year, planted a few more this year. Primarily he's doing zinnia and status, and well, he didn't get them all from Park Seed. He got some of them. These gold containers of Park Seed. And what else? A little bit of vegetables, lettuce, things like that. Well, that's his little bin. But my little bin is just all over the place. I've got tons of stuff. I did order some seeds this year. Where are those at? Oh, this is my this year's seeds here and here. And I got, these are from Outside Pride because I was looking for larkspur. I'm on a larkspur fetish. I can't get pink larkspur to do hardly anything, and I've been trying for years. So I thought I'm going to go to some more vendors and get larkspur from different vendors and see if maybe I can have some success with different seeds. In the process on these guys, I just got some wildflower seeds in various different colors: reds, orange, blues, yellow. That's what's in here, in addition to the larkspur. And then I did just get an order from Seedville. Now they're on Etsy, and it came really fast. So let me take a minute to talk about the time of the year. It's May 2nd right now when I'm filming this. And I've already done a batch of seeds under the grow light and put them out in the yard. And so far they seem to be doing okay. This is a mild climate on the Oregon coast. And so check your area to see. I don't think it's too late to sow seeds out in the garden in most areas of the country. So if you are fortunate to have a garden or you have a patio, make a patio box and just get a couple of little different things and play around if you've never done anything from seed before. Or if you're stuck inside because of what's going on in social distancing right now, maybe get a little container and play around with a couple of different seeds just to have something to do. There's nothing like seeing seeds growing to lift your spirits and just realize that, there is still beauty in the world and things are, can give you joy in doing. So here is seedvillusa.com, but they also have a shop on Etsy. And I got, I got some verbena. Got a lot of verbena, peppers, tomatoes, and I think some larkspur. And those just came in, I think, yesterday or the day before. And then I got, what else? Yeah, just more seeds. Oh, and I got some zinnia seeds. My husband's the one that mostly grows zinnia, but they had this beautiful, look at how beautiful that picture is. They call it carousel zinnia, and they're supposed to be mixed 2 to 3 very, colorings in the petals. And I like to press, let me bring this back. These here are zinnia petals. Look at how beautiful they are. Hold their color really well. And so I like to press the petals. So I told my husband when I got these seeds, I said, I've got some mixed zinnia seeds that are really pretty, so I'm gonna have a competition with you. See if my zinnias are prettier than your zinnias. So we'll see. So I was razzing him about that. But that's what those seeds look like. More verbena. Here's verbena. I like to press verbena, hold their color really well, but I like the saturated colors, and you can't always get the saturated colors at the garden store, but just in case. But that's the nice red verbena that I like. So that's that. I pulled these pressed flowers out so that when I come across the seeds, I can show you what flower they are. This is what did I say? These were Seedville, and these were Outside Pride this year. Then last year I was on a quest to find what's called Twinkle Dwarf Mix Phlox, and they have this really interesting shape and really hard to find. As a matter of fact, I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know what they were called when I started my quest last year for a search. I knew that they were phlox, and I was going searching star phlox and all that, and finally I stumbled across, okay, I guess they're calling them twinkles, and I did find a place that had them, so I bought 3 packs, and I got them late in the year, and it says they're packed for 12/31/19. And so this is the first year I've had to plant them, and lo and behold, let me find my container. They sprouted. So these are the twinkle phlox. I've already planted some in the garden. These are just left. I'll talk about these containers here in a minute. So anyway, I found those, and then I ordered, back to my quest for larkspur, I ordered some pink larkspur from the Gifted Tomato. This was from Etsy, and I just started those seeds, so I don't know how they're going to do. And then here's some more seeds I ordered this year off of Strictly Medicinal out of Oregon. Did I get larkspur from them? No, I think I just got tomatoes, and I also got, when I looked out in my yard and started gardening this year, I was in a panic because I didn't see any Queen Anne's lace coming back, and I have had Queen Anne's lace in my yard for a couple of years now. And so I actually went on the internet and did a search for Queen Anne's lace, and I wanted the real McCoy. There's different kinds out there, false Queen Anne's lace and all of that. And I wanted the real thing, the ones that grow wild in our area. Let me say a word about Queen Anne's. Don't go buying Queen Anne's seeds and putting them in your yard because they can be very invasive. Now, I have areas of my yard where I've got ivy and false lily of the valley, and I don't know what all goes on, but just some really tenacious invasive weeds. So if these want to compete with those, I don't care, because I'd rather have these being invasive in my invasive areas than some of the other things. So just a word of warning, just don't go scattering these around, because you could end up with a problem. I'm not worried about it at this point, and I'll show you what the seeds look like. So and actually when they come up, and again I got these from Strictly Medicinal Seeds, they come up, they actually look like a regular garden carrot, which is here. See, they've got the 2 leaves like that, and then they've got this little, let's see if I can find see how it gets this little kind of roughly offshoot. So these are garden carrots that I'm putting in the yard, but the Queen Anne looks pretty similar. And actually, after I ordered these, I found an area where I had a Queen Anne last year that I do see now that I know what the carrot seedlings look like, because I didn't know or I'd forgotten. I do see where I do have some Queen Anne seedlings coming up from last year that have nothing to do with these seeds, so I was excited about that. Oh, and the other thing that's in this container is kale. I like kale to put for juicing because it's really, really nutritious. So that's what I'm going to do with all these packaged seeds. The ones that I got this year or last year, I'll have to go through, I'm going to keep. And I'm not going to put them all into another big container or use them for arts and crafts and that type of thing at this point, because they should still be viable for this year, and probably do some sowing directly in the garden as soon as we get some nicer weather. It's still yet to start getting warm and stop raining, and then I'll have those. But all these other seeds that I got going on, I will do something else with. The other way that I get seeds, besides buying them from either the store, like these I just bought from the store. We've already talked about Nichols. These are store. Who are these from? Outside Pride. We already talked about that. Oh, these seeds here, I did one year, 2018, because I looked at the date on the packet. This is from 2018. 5/14/2018. In my quest of looking for these Phlox Twinkles, I saw a picture of these on a Chinese website that was selling seeds. And so I thought, and that's before I found these from the United States. So while I was ordering seeds, I ordered several different kinds, and this is the only time I've ordered seeds from China. I did plant some under the grow light and all that, but I didn't have as much success as I was hoping, but maybe I wasn't really that motivated. Between the Twinkle Phlox and the Lotus, which is the other thing that I really wanted, was Lotus Seeds, because I was in a mode here a couple of years ago where I wanted to grow some big containers of, what do they call it, like water lilies. I have a pond with a water lily in it in my yard, but I wanted to do some lotus. And so I bought some lotus seed, and I actually did sprout them. I sprouted quite a few. You gotta break these hard shells though before you put them in water and have them germinate. There's a lot of videos on the internet, on YouTube, about growing lotus, and so I had them, and they were in the pot and they were growing, but I got bored of it because they were taking up too much room, and so I ended up stopping that project and ended up using the containers for flowers, for pressing and drying and edibles, because it became more important. But that's what the lotus seed looks like. So I'm not going to be buying any more seeds from China, but I did have my foray into them. And like I say, this is from a couple of years ago. And that one. Anything else in here that's of noteworthy? So these are this year. I'll be keeping those. I'll go through these and I don't know what this is. These are from China too. Oh, I think these are the Twinkles, the ones I got that said they were Twinkles, but they had a lot of different colors, so I bought all these different colors. I think that's what these are. And then garden stakes for marking your plants. Now the other thing that I wanted to show you was that what I'm doing now, and what I will probably be prioritizing and only buy seeds for things that I can't get myself, is I am now collecting my own seed. And so far it's been working out pretty good. So here's poppy. This is that large orange, what do they call that, Oriental poppy. Here's some seeds I got off the side of the road. These are the, I don't know what they're called. I used to think they were called everlasting, but they're really good for dryables, for hanging upside down and drying and using in dry arrangers. I just love them. And so more poppies. What else is in here? This is Columbine. Oh no, this is Larkspur. Okay, this is Larkspur. That's more poppy. This is What's that? Oh, this is marigold seeds. Bachelor button. And what else? More bachelor button. Oh, I did save, oh here, this is parsley, curly parsley. This goes from seed really well. Most of these have worked out pretty good. Red lettuce. I just planted red lettuce from plants that I collected seed from, and my own seeds are doing really well. Let me get... This is red lettuce seeds, and then this is just green lettuce, and then this is seeds that I saved from last year for this cosmos. Let me show you which cosmos I'm talking about. There's a specific color of cosmos I want. It's called Sonata, which is this deep, this more saturated pinkish, mauvish, I guess, color. And they press really well. They hold their color fairly good. And it's not always easy to find the particular color of cosmos that I want. So I saved the seed last year thinking, oh, I wonder if I can germinate them. And the answer is yes. So as you can see, I've already planted some of these out in the yard, but hopefully I'll get flowers off of them. I don't see any reason why not. So that's what that was. That's pretty good. So that was the cosmos. That was the red cosmos. And when I pick them, when I'm saving them and I pick them, I will generally, as you can see here, same technique for all the ones, so I'll just show you these. I'll pick the whole, piece of the plant. After the petals fall and they start to set seed and they get dry, I'll pick the whole stem with the plant on it and leave the seeds. And then when I'm ready for the seeds, see, for example, there should be some seeds on here. Yeah, no, that's not seeds. Well, maybe they fell off because the seeds, excuse me for bumping the camera, these are the seeds. These guys here. So but I picked the whole thing, and then you can twinkle around and the seeds will float down to the bottom. Tick seed is another one. It's a specific tick seed that I really like for pressing. And so every year I save the seeds, and that is this guy. These hold their color really well, press really easily, and I just love them. And pansies, although it's hard to find pansy, well, I don't know about hard to find, but I don't always find the pansy seeds, but they will reseed themselves. And so if you can find pansy seeds, just scatter them around your garden or in a pot, and they do good from seed. And they will volunteer meaning they'll come back. Tick seed. This is straw flower. You can see where I picked the heads. And there's the flower, and that's what these are. Straw flower. I hang them upside down dry and use them in the 3D dried arrangements. And when I didn't show you the Queen Anne seeds that I was talking about a few minutes that I said were invasive, here's an example of the Queen Anne's lace flower. And you can use if you've seen any of my other videos where I talk about Queen Anne, you can use the individual floret petals or the whole thing or parts of it. And I really like Queen Anne. Let's see what else. More straw flower, more parsley. Nigeria, a lot of people press this head, because a lot of times it'll get more of that reddish color on there, as a dryable, which is what I usually do, although I saved this one for the seed. And this is Status Seeds. You can start Status from seed. My husband actually did that. He bought Status seed and grew it from seed. This is Columbine. And anything else in here? This is, they call it the money plant. It's the ones that give you these, again, they can be used in dry arrangements. And what you do, oh, they've got the most beautiful purple flowers. They're biennial, and they look funky coming out of the garden, but what you do is you peel the outer shell off. You peel the outer shell off this side, and then there's an outer shell on this side, an outer shell on this side, and then the seeds are sandwiched in between. Let me see if I can find one that has seed pods in it. This one might show you what the seeds look like. And actually, I should grow some. It's been a couple. So here, see, that's the seed. Now some of these are kind of overly dried out. You wouldn't let them get quite this funked out if you wanted to use them for. It's kind of a little more brown than a lot of times. They'll be much lighter, brighter color. But this pack is for the seeds, and then I think I have some. Oh, here. I have some fresher ones over here for actually using in arrangements. See, here, this is what they look like when they're better looking. See when they're more usable for this, they don't look as they don't look as funked out as the ones that I save for the actual seeds. Well, this is my usable one for that. Let's see, anything else of noteworthy? That's that one. Is there anything else in here? Now, these were from last year. These actually are from year before last. These were from last year. Let's see if there's anything different. Oh, I saved actual carrot seeds. So I don't know why I bought carrot seeds. I went and bought carrot seeds this year for the carrots that I just showed you. I forgot I had these. Bachelor buttons. Here's bachelor buttons. That's what these are. These are bachelor buttons. I like to use the little florets. And my husband had some snapdragon seeds, and they grow from seed really well. I have a couple plants in my yard from his seeds. He actually also did bidden from seeds, which I didn't know you could do bidden from seeds, but he was successful. That's what this is. Here's another snapdragon. And what else is on here? Oh, this is Lupin. This is they call it Love Lies of Bleeding, and amaranth. There's different kinds, and this was one, and I have seeds for this too. These grow from seeds, and so does celosia. I didn't know you could grow celosia from seeds, but my husband got celosia seed, and this was from his plants that he did from seed last year, and he's got more going this year. So that's really nice. So we've got some of those going on. Here's some Queen's empty tick seed. We already talked about that. We already talked about parsley. Bidden. I saved some bidden. Calendula. This is orange calendula. These start really easy from seed. But that's what they look like. And then the orange cosmos, which the seeds looks fairly similar to that red cosmos that I showed you. Well, sort of similar. That's a seed of that. Oh, what is it? Oh, I know what this one is. I think it's called a Cinderella butterfly flower. That's what this is an orange variant, which I love for many arrangements. Well, the Cinderella one, they're smaller than this, and they're kind of a pinkish, darkish pinkish color. Now it's coming back, but I thought, well, I'm gonna save one of the pods, and then see if you can see the seed in there, and start it from seed. See what happens. I haven't done anything with it. I just did it last fall. But I think I need to put this in some soil under the grow light and see if it germinates. Okay, let me move all these out of the way, and we're almost done. I want to talk real quick about one more thing, which is first of all, this book is Park Success with Seeds. Now, I'm not sure if it's still on the market, because this was published, when was this published? 1978. Shows you how long I've had this book. I had this book since I've lived in Alaska. I think it's about the year I left Alaska. But anyway, what I like about this book is it shows you what the seedlings look like. And sometimes I'll just sow directly in the garden, but for example, this year where I got those verbena seeds, I have no idea what the seedlings look like. I haven't looked it up in this book yet. And so sometimes I'll just germinate a seed to see what the seedlings look like, even though I will generally sow the seed directly in the garden, because there's so many seeds that germinate that are weed seeds that you don't know, should I pull it, should I not pull it? So this way, if you germinate them, a couple as a sample, at least you'll know what they look like once they get at least their first little set of leaves. So this is kind of a nice reference book to look for something like that. And then the other thing that I was, oh, let me show you this before I leave, before I forget. Look at this guy. This is, well, my husband and I call it the brain. It's a celosia. It's not the plume kind. It's the kind that gets this, we call it the brain. And this was actually dried not last year, but the year before. And look at it. It has not lost any color. I can't believe my husband, I have it hanging up in a part of the basement. He came down, it was a couple of weeks ago, and said, is that brain celosia? And I said, yeah. And he goes, I can't believe it's still got that color and it hasn't changed shape at all. I mean, this is basically what it looked like on the plant. And then you can use it in arrangements, or also what I'll do sometimes is I will, this is a really good one. I don't want to pull it apart, but you can take, if I can find a good example, you can take a section like this, and then you can pull it off, and so you'll have this mini brain. Like I said, I don't want to ruin this one because it's in such good shape. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's there. I think it's really cool. Maybe someday I'll figure out, you know, a design. The other thing that grows well from seed, something else I love to press that's a dryable, are these acrocliniums. So I have some acroclinium seeds somewhere in the stash, and you can press them dry hanging down, or you can even actually press them under a book and flatten them a little bit. They'll never, at least in my experience, they don't necessarily press as flat as some of the flowers, but they will, you can press them. And then the last thing I want to talk about that I've hoarded is catalogs. Now, I pulled all my catalogs because I have not thrown any away in years and years. And, you know, so you go, okay, well, who needs, you know, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, there may even be more wayside catalogs. And then I've got, you know, several burpees and all that. Who needs that many? I'm going to keep one of each, because catalogs are really good references. So I love catalogs, and I have been hoarding them, and I need to stop. And here's one from Nichols Garden. I showed you some of their seed packets. It's black and white, but they have a lot of information in it. Dig and Dog Nursery. They've got some interesting stuff I ordered from them back in 2018. Their catalog is got a lot of good information. And I like to just look at the pretty pictures. In the winter, before it becomes spring, I like to look at catalogs just to do planning and daydream. And I also like to use some, oh, here's the brain. Celosia, what's the official name of that? King Coral. Huh. King Coral. Celosia. Huh. There it is. There's the brain. Really interesting. So that's why I keep these, is just to daydream in the middle of winter when there's nothing else going on. So I'll just keep one of each. Thyme Garden, 2016 herb collection. Evidently I never even opened it because it's It's still got its sticker things on it. Wayside burpee, wayside, a lot of wayside. Wayside goes, wayside definitely seems to like to send a lot of catalogs. Oh, here's another time garden. Let's see if I've opened that one. That's 2015. That was 2016. So yes, I did open that one. So I won't go through the catalog. So anyway, the point of the whole video was I'm just taking a journey down my seed packets starting from 2007 to present, giving you a couple of ideas of things that you can grow from seed for your own crafts if you are able to have a pot or a patio garden or have a garden out in the outdoors. And then if nothing else, you can always look at these for some pretty. And then, like I say, I'm going to use these seeds for some craft projects, and so hopefully I will get something done about that in the future, and I will post that like I mentioned earlier. And I'm glad that you tuned in. I think that I've rambled on long enough. Oh no, there is one other thing I wanted to show you. It was how I'm sprouting seeds this year. I purchased these from Amazon. I think that they were selling these for bread, for baking bread, or for, I'm not really sure, storing stuff. But the reason was, A, look at how nice and deep they are. Well, actually, it's this deep. So it's deep enough that you can start seedlings, but what I really like about it is it comes with this lid. And while I don't necessarily leave the lid on tight when I'm germinating seeds, because they almost get too moist in there, I will kitty wampus it like that. And so that's what I'm doing with these. And if I can find the link to where I got them from, I'll link them below. But this has been working out really well. And let me show you the two ways that I'm doing it. The one way that I'm doing it is I'm using the little peat pots. And you can use larger peat pots. But this works really well for 3 rows this way. And what was it? Something like 4 rows that way. And they fit real nice on the shelf underneath the grow light. As you can see, pink larkspur, getting them to germinate is almost an impossible feat. So the ones I planted before, when I started these, they didn't germinate. So some of the new pink larkspur seeds that I just got from the new batches that I showed you, I've used the same peat pots and planted some seeds. So maybe I'll have better success with a different batch of seeds. So we'll see. And then this is another larkspur peat pot that nothing's come up. This is the amaranth, the Love Lies Bleeding that I showed you, which is this guy. That's what this is. And we already talked about the twinkles. But the point being, with this, I just put the peat pots in, and then I've got my lid down below if I wanted to use it. And then the other technique that I'm using is where I double them. And what I do is I take the sides and I crush the sides in so that this one's held up a little bit above this for catching water. There's holes in the bottom of this one because I didn't plant these in peat pots. I just, excuse me, I just put the dirt in and then created a little ditch there so I knew this row is one kind and this row is another kind, this row is another kind. And then, now, interestingly enough, this row is lettuce that I planted from seed packets. Now, albeit old seed packets, because I haven't bought any seed packets this year, and nothing came up. This whole row, not one single lettuce plant came up. The lettuce plants that came up, which was these guys, those were from the seeds that I showed you that I actually gathered in my plastic bags that I actually gathered from seeds from lettuce that I grew last year. And look at how well those are doing. I mean, these came up lickety-split. They look really healthy. And what I do with these is I take a knife. What do I do with my knife? Well, anyway, I take a knife, a regular butter knife, and then I just go down right by, and I'll sacrifice one of these carrots. And I just go, I don't treat these very gingerly. It's they're either going to do or they're not. And then the nice thing about the knife, it has the flat edge, and you can get down in there and you can kind of move it apart. and then I'll take, I'll try to get a segment of dirt with it. And see, there's the roots, and then I just gingerly go over to my little hole out in the garden, and then I plant it. I can pretend like this is the garden, and I just, well, the garden would be deeper, obviously, but, and then I just plant it into the yard. Pack the dirt around it. There you go. Just like that. So that's what I do with those guys. This one would be easy to pull out with the knife. You just take and put your hand there and get the knife under there. You can get this whole little dirt clod right along with it. So that's what I do when I just do rows in these containers. If I use the peat pot, like this, one like this where I have two, I'll just probably plant the peat pot and let these two stay together and not bother the roots. But in something like this, where I've got a whole bunch of seedlings, what I've been doing is I take them apart, I pull the bottom off. I use a very, very mild, as in not a full strength, Miracle Grow, the liquid fertilizer, where I've got a 1 gallon milk jug, and I'll pour some of that on and let it go through, just hopefully to help it from going through transplant shock. But anyway, I'll pour that in, then I will take the bottom off. I'll peel the bottom of this peat pot off, and then I will cut with my scissors this side, so that I can pull it apart. And then the ones that are living or kind of embedding into the peat pot, I will just plant the section of the pot as is, and I try not to disturb the roots as much as possible. But these ones in the middle that are kind of going to be willy-nilly when you pull the pot apart, I will, sort of like I showed you with the carrot a minute ago, I will tease off the root ball, and I'll plant those individually. So that's kind of what I do with those, and you can see the roots are coming out. And that's about the two ways that I do my seeds right now. It's called the lazy person's way of doing seeds, and that's about all I can do. And then like I say, I'll sow them directly, some of them directly in the garden when the time comes. Okay, that's it. If you've hung with me all this, how long has this been? Oh, 43 minutes. Okay, well, I guess it could have been worse, but it could have been better. Thank you for tuning in. Going on the journey with me. You have a wonderful day, and I really appreciate any comments that you might make, and if you subscribe, and we'll have other projects and pressed flowers and other tags and journals and cards and things like that as we go through time, and hopefully you will join me on those journeys too. Have a great day. Now, the only thing is I got to figure out how to turn this off.